Reminder. All right, here we go. Thank you. Okay, so um, I apologize. We started and I forgot to record. So here we're gonna go. We're gonna start where I left off. Okay, so in your interactive agenda, in the news section here, where you've got all of these dates and things, if you
Cindy, you're
go,
sharing.
ah, thank you. Guys, keeping me on my toes here. Whoops, wrong screen. Okay. All right, now can you see my screen?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, okay, perfect. Thank you so much. All right, so in this part where you've got all of the dates and all of these links, if you go to, let's say, the activities for week 4, and down here where it says keywords to your blueprints, where you go down to the mandatory badge activities, and it has keywords to your blueprints. If you click on that, this comes up with a little video right here on how to do that. But then you can also download this tip, and it tells you how to go about tagging your blueprints. So in basically all you're doing at the end of your blueprint, you're doing an underscore, and then you might be saying something like film strip, or you might say something like diamonds. If you're looking for a blueprint that has all diamond shapes in it, you might label it diamonds, or you might label it circles, that kind of thing. So that when you are looking for something in particular, you can use that tag to help you find that blueprint. Does that make any sense? So my suggestion is that you print this, maybe even save it, and print this 4-page instructions, and you can add, I don't know, 2 or 3 um, tags to your blueprints. You can even put the word favorite or fave, FAV, in there to say this is one that I like and I want to use often. If you have one that's an itinerary, you might put the word or an abbreviation for itinerary in there. So, or title page or something like that, so that you can find them. Because if you, when you get to be like me, I don't know if I can show it to you or not, but when you get like me and you have a blue million of these things. So if I, can you see my screen with that?
Yes.
Okay, so if I, so these are all my, these are all of my 12-inch blueprints. So they'll all come up, and so when you get, that's 527 blueprints right there. So, and it's nice that within the blueprint um, label that is already given to it, it tells you how many photo spaces that you have. So all of these in here have 5 photo spaces. So if you know that you only have 5 photos that you want to scrap, you might just go to 5 and look at all of them and see which one you like. But if you go in and you say, okay, well, I can add to this one if I rename and I go underscore circle. okay, circle, then I can leave it like that. If I have one that has, oh, this one's cool. If I go here with this one and I go to rename it, and I can put underscore puzzle. And then I should be able to come up here to my 12 by 12 blueprints, and I should be able to put in puzzle, and there it is. So that's the one that I named puzzle. Okay. So does that help you guys a little bit? Yes, Jody.
Okay, so I'm just asking to verify that I'm making sense of this because it's taken me a minute to get back to where you were.
Yeah.
So you're doing this in your blueprints folder that is not in your library, but it's a
Right.
way to search your blueprint collection that you then can
Yes.
pull into Artisan. Okay,
Yeah. That you use template or you use add page to pull
right.
into your project.
Okay, so it's not a tag like we have in our library that we can search that way. Okay, I
No,
was just making
no.
sure. So,
Yep.
okay,
Yep. Though you could go through if you buy a blueprint kit and it's in your library, you
right.
could go and tag all of those by saying, okay, this is has three full photo holders, or it's
Mm-hmm.
5 photo holders triangle or something like that. You can tag all of those. So
Okay.
yes, you can tag all of those, but this is for when you're looking at the ones that have been given to you by Pixels to Pages at one time or
Okay.
another.
So when I'm
Okay?
bored and don't have anything to do, I could.
Yeah, yeah. Sitting around in front of the television going, oh, what am I going to do now? So, okay, so that's kind of the big thing that I wanted to share with you guys. The other thing that I wanted to share with regard to blueprints for this event, I went ahead and put Pixie 500, and I just put blueprints there, and those are the single page blueprints. Okay, so these are all the single page blueprints if I want to find a particular one, because if they say something like using the garden blueprint, create a page, whatever. So I have those blueprints. In the past, they have given us cover blueprints, and they have not to this point. I don't know if they will, but I just gave myself a little folder here. If they do give us any covers, then there's a spot for that. These are the double page spread ones. So I've got absolutely not left side, absolutely not right side, and I can go in and I can add something to those if I choose to tag those. And then I have this seamless lay flat ones. So I have those all separated out just because I don't want to have to look through all of them. If I'm looking for a double page spread, I don't want to have to look at all the single pages necessarily. Okay. Does that make any sense? Does
Yes.
that help a little bit to organize your blueprints? And you know what? You don't have to do it the way I do it. Do it whatever way works for you. This is just the way that I've chosen to do it. And then at the end of the event, I put them back into their 12 by 12 blueprints, or the 11 by 8.5, or this seamless lay flats. So I get rid of those um, folders so that I don't have so many here under blueprints. Okay. All right. So that's that. Okay. So now I would like to So did we ever decide where we were on the ribbons from the last time we had time together? Nobody knows. Nobody remembers. I didn't go back and listen to it either, so I don't know. But I'm thinking that I'm thinking that we finished the arrange ribbon. Because we talked about flatten. The only thing we really didn't talk about is doing orienting your suppose I should go to a better page. Looking at your items and seeing which ones, if they're right side up or that kind of thing. So you want to be able to rearrange things so that they're right side up. So that's really the rest, that's rotate. So that's just the end of the arrange ribbon. So the format ribbon, which is the next ribbon.
Wow, I love that, Lindsay. That's
What's
cool
that?
looking.
Oh,
That
thank
page.
you. Thank you. This is a pre-designed page by Meg's Graphics. And I think I told you guys that we went to the Sebring racetrack and we made sure we went to the Sebring racetrack because it's like 3 miles from my mom's house. And we took some pictures of some of the race cars as they were going around, because Sebring has what they call the 12 hours of Sebring. It's an endurance race, and so they race for 12 hours. And so they were out there practicing, and that is the only curve or corner or whatever you want to call it that we could go to be able to see the cars. But thank you, I appreciate that. So if I wanted to know what all of these things were on here, I would, come on. You're not lassoing. Come on. What the heck? Oh, okay. So anyway, I know why it's not lassoing. It's because it's grouped.
Yeah.
That makes all the sense in the world. But now it won't ungroup. Okay. So your page has to be ungrouped. Okay. And what you can do is once it's ungrouped, you can go to the format ribbon and go to properties, which is the first one there. And when you go to properties, and you have all of your pieces highlighted, then you can find out what you used to create that page. So, there we go. Maybe that'll work. Okay, now I can ungroup.
Okay, you aren't sharing, Lindy.
I'm not.
No.
Yes, she
Oh.
is. I can see it.
Oh,
Are you on the right screen, Sandy, to see the page?
I don't know. What screen am I supposed to be on?
Well, you're
The Artisan screen, Sandy, with the picture of the cars.
No. How do I
Look
get
on-
there?
Up at the top,
look
if it
down
says
on your
meet-
Zoom. Look down
Yeah,
on
standard
Zoom
view.
down at on your bar on your computer and pull up.
No, I can pull up all your faces and that's it.
So you don't have one that
then
said Lindsay
minimize-
Wetzley's screen?
Minimize you guys and go to maybe speaker only to see.
Oh, wait. Okay. Now, oh, no. As soon as I tried to make that larger, it says Lindsay Westling has started screen shaving. this comes up and it disappears.
Sandy, do you see a view button up at the top? And
Yeah.
if you click on the view, there are different view options.
So
Oh.
exit full screen or something.
Wait a second. Now I can't even get your faces up. Look, I just accidentally hit Lightroom. Okay. Zoom Workplace. Okay. No, we weren't in full screen. We're in full screen now.
Well, you might have been not in full screen, but if you
Okay, so if I
if
exit full screen, then what?
well, then you should be able to see me on there as the speaker, and you
Oh,
should
I
be
should
able to
set up,
see.
you want me to set it up as you as a speaker? I have a gallery setting right now.
Okay, and then if you set me up as speaker, you should be able to see my
No,
screen.
no, I still don't.
I don't know what to
Nope.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to, because you should be able to see the screen. So keep playing with it and you'll get the recording.
Well, okay. I have it, but it's like 1 inch by 2 inches, and I can't make it any bigger. And when I try to make it bigger, I just get all of you.
Sorry,
Uh,
I
there,
don't know what to tell you there.
there is a scroll bar that it's by the side of, but it separates Lindy's screen versus the people's screen. And if you kind of hover over that bar, you can
Well,
push
no,
it
right
all the.
now you're all above. So,
So you should do if you do view side by side gallery. And if you saw Lindy's screen is just a little thumbnail, you should be able to go to the between the people and Lindy's screen, and there's like a bar, and you can push that bar all the way over to make it bigger.
no, you know,
No.
I play with that all the time, but right now I can do speaker gallery, dynamic gallery, multi-speaker. I
So you
can
don't have a
change.
side by side.
Not today. I had it earlier, but right now, no.
Huh.
What if you go out and come back in again?
Well, Lindy has to let me in. Okay, I got it.
I'll let you in.
I got it.
I'm not gonna let you in, Sandy. You're not here now. You don't get in again, you know? There's no readmission. If you leave, you can't come back. So why don't you try that and
No,
come
I
back
have
and
it. I have it.
you have it
There
now?
was there was a little thing that said Lindsay Westling's screen, and I clicked on that.
Oh, okay, good. Good.
Except
All right.
I can't see anything, so I want to see if I have to exit full screen and try to pull you over on my bigger screen.
Okay. All right.
There we
Well,
go.
we're gonna go on, okay?
Go ahead.
All right. So as you can see, I have all of these things highlighted. Now, if I'm working on this page and I want to highlight everything, I could go over here and I could control and click on everything here, keep my control button down and click on everything, okay? I could do that. But one of the things that we've learned is that if you start outside your page, push your left button on your mouse and start drawing a square across. And can you see the square coming on there? And as I go through and get everything inside that square, and when I release the button, everything comes up. So now I can go to the format ribbon and I can go to properties, and over here on the side, on the right-hand side, it says copyright notices. And those are all of the kits that I used to help do this page.
That's
Now,
why. Thank
isn't
you.
that cool? Yep, that's
Yeah, I've been doing it differently and it keeps coming up with nothing. And I'm like, I know there's something on there that's copyrighted.
Yep. But if it's grouped, it's not going to come up. Okay, so
Yes.
you have to make sure that you do this before you group your page. Okay.
You have to
Now
ungroup everything.
you have to ungroup. Well, you have to ungroup. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know
Okay.
that. Yeah, pretty much everything that can be ungrouped should be ungrouped.
Lindy, where did you find properties again? How did you pull that up?
Okay,
What'd you
in the
click on?
format ribbon up here at
Format,
the
okay.
top, and then it's properties. The
Oh,
first
duh.
one here.
Okay, see it.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, the downside of this is that you cannot click and drag to highlight this section so that you can just cut and paste it someplace. You have to either take a picture of it on your phone, or you have to sit and handwrite everything out if you are going to credit all of the kits to their appropriate designer, which is what we should be doing. But if you'd never put any of these up on Facebook, or you never put them up on Pixels to Pages, their Facebook page or anything like that, if you never do that, then it's not, pretty much nobody's going to care. But and I should be doing this every time I do a page for My Past Your Future. I should be making this available to those people when they look at my pages and say, oh, I want to create one like Lindy's. Well, what did she use? And I'm going, well, I don't know what I used. So I need to go through and do this for all of my pages. But this goes
Lindy,
along with, yeah, sorry, Jody.
that's right. So couldn't you use the snipping tool outside of
Yeah,
Artisan? You could just use the snipping
yeah,
tool,
yeah.
right?
That's just taking another picture of it. But yes, you could use the snipping tool. That's good. Thank you for that.
I have a question too.
Yep.
Isn't it true that, like, say, if you lighten the opacity or you change the color, that you would not be able to see the properties?
You probably, if you change it in a significant way, then you probably wouldn't be able to see it
Okay.
in there. You also cannot see alpha sets. Unless over here on your workspace you had a Z over there, let's say, and you copied, you had that within your circle of things when you were highlighting or out lassoing everything together. If you had a letter out here to the side, then it would tell you what that property, what alpha set it is. It also does not tell you your fonts. So you have to go up to your font picker and look for the font that you used. Okay. So, but this is so much better than trying to go back and try to figure out what you used for something. So
Definitely helps.
yes. So, but this also goes along with the sheet that we got in what, week 2, week 3, the crediting Excel sheet that we got. So if you take a snip of this and then you put in all of this into that crediting sheet, it makes it a lot easier to be able to put that then up into Facebook. Does that make sense to you guys? I know, Joy, you've been using
I
the.
love it. I love it. It's really nice. I do have an older scrapbook kit, and I can't remember who the designer was, but the designer is not listed on that sheet. Do you know how to add a designer?
I think
I know
let's
it's a
see.
calculation. It's very intricate.
Yes, and I talked with Shannon. Let me see if I can find it here. I talked with Shannon about some of that.
Okay.
I wonder if maybe you can't can't
Like
do
copy one of
it.
the lines and change the by person. I don't know.
Maybe, but maybe just put out a question to Shannon Ulbricht and say it seems, and I don't know who that designer would be,
Right.
but yeah, just ask her if maybe she can add that person in if it's actually
It
was a
is.
forever designer. So
It was
okay,
a designer back in 2020 and they're gone. How do you spell her last name? Obritz? O U.
Ulbrecht, something like that.
Okay.
Shannon.
Gotcha. I'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Because I had a meeting with her because I could not, the way my system is set up, I could not bring in the the
Spreadsheet.
chart. And
Mm,
so I talked with her a little bit about, to me, it would be nice to be able to have over in one of these empty fields um, the various hashtags that we might use for a crop. So, or a reminder to say, okay, so she's got Pixie 500 virtual party. That's the main one that we're using. But if we want to do a special um, hashtag hashtag, then we could we could do something over here on the side, or we could do something under here and just and then copy and paste it into the hashtags. So
hmm
there are ways to make that easier rather than having to constantly type in something. So
Right.
if you guys are wanting to be a part of my group on the at the 500, I'm going to have our group as hashtag amateur artisans.
Amateur artisans.
Yeah, yeah. And if you guys are wanting, but that only matters if you want to post any of your pages on the website or not on the website, but on the Facebook pages or in the collaborative albums to have our group name. But anyway, so that's just, so like I say, being able to um, find your kits that you were using and being able to use that tracking sheet is really nice to be able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and group my page back together again. Okay. Okay. All right. So then the next thing on the format list is looking at texts. Let me go to a clean. I don't really have a clean page. Okay. All right, so we'll just start with this. I went ahead and took, and then we talked about putting all of the blueprints into their folders on your computer. I went ahead and used, remember we did home on the home screen, you had add page. And so if you add a page, then you can go to your computer where you have all your blueprints, and you can click on the top blueprint, hold the shift key and click on the bottom blueprint, and all of them will come over into your project. So you don't have to go template, find it, put it in, and then go back and get the next one, and then put it in. You can add page, but the only problem is that it puts it at the very end of your project. So if you've started out with 100 pages in your project or 99 pages in your project, and you put in 20 or 25 blueprints, they're all going to be at the end, and you might want to move them closer to the top so you can find them more easily. But that's a quick way to put a bunch of blueprints into your project quickly, especially if you know which ones you want to use. Okay, so back to the format. Okay, so if we're looking at text, you get the text editor over here on the right-hand side. All right, hold on. Let me get rid of some stuff there. Okay. So if I go here, go to text, it gets me the text editor. And this is where you can do fun things with your text. So that one page that you saw that had room around it, she used this text editor here to be able to position the text along the shape. So she had a circle and she put room on it and was able to position it where she wanted it to be. Okay, so you put in, so if I position this along the text and I say, okay, do you see where it's starting to come down around this corner?
Yes. Mhm.
If I change that a little bit, so if I can change where it is on the path, you see where I'm moving the slider and I can move it around. Okay. I can reverse the path direction, which means I can have it right side up down here on the bottom. And I can repeat the text to fill the path. So I can do that. And this would have it reversed. Of course, then the bottom would be upside down. Okay. I can change the position of the letter on here. So this is right now baseline on the top, on the edge of the shape. But if I change the top of the letters along that line, then it's within that bounding box. You see where those little dots are? If I can make it big enough for you to see it. So you can top of the letters, or I can do the middle of the letter, which might work. I don't know. I can move it outside the box if I want to with the relief. and I can do a relief variance where I can make it wonky. And I can change the spacing. So if it's too close together and I want to space it out a little bit, I can change the spacing. So this is where you can play with your fonts and your text boxes. So maybe if I were to do this, so if I change this and make this a color, come on. Okay, so now you can kind of see where the letters are in relationship to my text box. Generally, since this is a text box, you wouldn't necessarily want to do this. But if you had a circle in here and you wanted the title of or you wanted something to go around the circle, that's kind of a cool effect. So question, and it's going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of practice to be able to do that. The other piece about, let's cancel, with text is if you right click inside the text box, you can get to that editor again. You would go to format, and there we have the editor again, so that you could do something different if you wanted to. The other thing with text is being able to do the text shape, or to do the wrapping. And wrapping is where, if I were to type along in my text box, you can see where my text box is underneath the picture, and I don't really want that to happen. So you have to be sure that your text box is below your photos, and then you come into the photo text box wrapping, and they have it wrapped around the element shape. You could have it wrapped around the bounding box, which means it's going to maybe be a little bit more outside the box, but it allows you to have the text go over the top here and then only go as far as the photo in that spot. Okay?
I'm confused. So, because you clicked on the photo to decide where the text would go.
Yes. Yes.
So when if you were to type in a whole bunch of stuff there, then it would not go around it would go around the photo, even though it's behind it?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So if I do, come on. All right. So if I do this, and I do copy, paste, 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 paste. Okay. Then this should, well, what happened? Why isn't it doing it?
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay, because it should. All right. Okay, so now you see where it's starting to.
Yes. Okay.
Ease up. I think the font is too big, maybe, and that's why it's giving us a funky. And even though you think that the font isn't too big, sometimes the program says it's too big and it does its own thing.
Okay.
But that's what it will do for you. And you
So
have to have the text under the
under.
photos. Because
Okay.
if you do it up here, see how it goes all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh,
So it has to
interesting.
be under the photos. Okay.
Yep.
All
Thanks.
right. Anything else? There's so much to do with Artisan that it's crazy. Shapes. This is one thing that Tamika will harp on until she's blue in the face, is shape, edit, shape, shape, edit, shape. So shape up here, edit, and now I can change the shape of my text box.
Oh,
Okay. Or I can change the shape of this photo. So if I go shape, edit shape, and let's say I want to make this a triangle. Oh, come on. Shape, edit, shape. All right. I have to hit that little, there's a little tiny button there by the square. And when it changes to blue, then I can change the shape of my
Hmm.
whatever I'm trying to change. Okay.
how did you
So
tell it that was the one you wanted to change though, Lindsay? Was you already clicked in there? You already clicked on that photo when
yeah,
you did
yep.
shape, edit, shape?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I clicked on the photo
Uh-huh.
and I went to shape, edit shape,
Uh-huh.
and then see how the line turns blue?
Yes.
Okay, so I can change the shape of this however I want to once that line turns blue. Okay, so I can come over here, now that's blue line again, and I can change the shape. If I come over here, I just have to get the line to change blue, and I can change the shape. Okay, if I hover over that blue line and right click, it says make curved. So now I can make that line curved. So I can make this one. Now that it's blue, I can make it curved. Okay. But now if I want to, if I go back to that line where I curved, now I can make it straight. So it makes it straight. Okay. So like I say, there are just so many things that we can do with this. So shape, edit, shape is a big thing for the Pixies. You'll hear that phrase until you can't stand it anymore. They say it all the time. If I'm here at the shape spot, I can select any shape from an art kit. So I know you guys can't see this, but here we go. Maybe I can get it over there. All right, so let's say on this photo frame here, I want to change it to a heart. Okay, so I'm just going to click heart. I'm going to select that shape, and it changes to a heart. Okay. So you can do that. It's an easy way to do it. We just have to figure out how to change this frame here to a heart. And we're not going to do that today, but just being able to say, oh, okay, I want to change this. Select from an art kit. And I want that one to be a butterfly shape. And I can make the photo a butterfly shape. There's another way that you can do that. You can come over here on the right-hand side of your page and go to the puppy paws. That's where all your shapes are. You have to click on into it so that you can go to the built-in kits, which is where the heart and the butterfly were, and in nature. But then you have all of these other kits that have shapes in them. So if you go down here to Pixels to Pages, which is this week's featured designer, World of Designers is Pixels to Pages this week. Tomorrow night at 8, I think. And all of their all of their kits that they're doing are something to do with shapes. So that's kind of a cool thing. But if I go to Pixels to Pages and I go to Shape Magic, they have a lot of shape kits. So if I went to, oh, that doesn't do anything. Oh, wait. Maybe I just didn't give it enough time. Okay. Let's say I want to change this photo to a monogram shape. So let's do W just for kicks and giggles. So create this shape. Well, that didn't do what I wanted it to do, did it? All right, let's see. What does it say here? Create this shape, cut this shape out, apply this shape to the selected elements. Okay, now I have my W. Okay, so there's lots of ways to change the shape of something. You can do it from up here on the shape up in the format ribbon, or you can do it with the puppy paws in the shapes in your over here in your content area. Okay. All right. Questions? Nope. All right. Perfect. Okay. So I think that's all that there is for shapes. Strokes. Strokes are sometimes these things that go around the boxes. And it could be a stroke or it could be a mat and frame. So let's see what this is, if we can figure it out. Okay, so these are all mats. Okay, so that's a little further down the format ribbon. But if I wanted to, I could add a stroke on here. And I can change it. Let's see, I want to make something big enough for you guys to see. Did you see that white change in there? That's a stroke. I can change it. We have several different kinds of simple strokes. We have several different kinds of compound strokes. So if you wanted a compound stroke, you see how it has a little line way in the middle of the black? a little bit of a white line there. Let's see, maybe if I make it a different color, you can see it better. So this is a compound stroke. So you see how it's actually embedded inside the mat a little bit. And then you can do patterns. So I could do a whole bunch of little beads. I can get a shape from an art kit. So I could do puppy paws. Oops. All right. Those puppy paws are pretty little, but they're puppy paws. So you can do decorative edges on your photos and on your text boxes and even around elements if you want to do a stroke with that. And strokes are interesting things. There's they take a little bit of practice to do, so don't get too frustrated with them right away. But try them out and see. The easiest thing to do is to put a stroke around like that, and then maybe do a simple one with little hash marks or with dashes, something that maybe looks like stitches. And then you can go to a compound one and make it a little fancier. So there's just play with them and see what you can do. Artisan.
What is the difference between a stroke and a mat?
A stroke goes around the outside of the item. A mat is, let's see if we can talk to mats a little bit. With mats, I can change the relief of it, so I can make it be pulled out from the page or put it behind, kind of into the page a little bit so that the picture stands out and the mat sits back farther.
How did you do that? Will you do that again, please?
Yep. So this is where the mat is sitting behind the photo and the photo is sitting out here a little bit. Okay, so you've got your mat here and the photo is here. If I change the relief of it, now you see how the shadow of the mat that's on the mat is on top of the photo, so that the mat now is out here and the photo is back here. Does that make any sense?
It's like a frame, though.
It is kind of like a frame, yes.
A mat is like a frame, but a stroke is not?
Right.
Okay.
So if where are the, okay, so if I go to cancel this, cancel. Okay, so if I go to select up here in effects, I'm going to have, these are kind of, this is where you get into your frames. So now I can change my frame if I want to. I can change it so that it looks like that instead of having the mat. But it still has a mat on it. Okay? let's say I take this and I take off my stroke, okay, and I go to select, I'm going to go to my frames. With your frame, you pretty much get a mat whether you want it or not. All right, this one, select this one. Okay, so you see it's almost like there's a stroke attached to this mat in here, but that's what they're calling a frame. I don't know. It's your decision what you want to use and how you want to use it. So you can do frames, you can do mats, but you have to do it under effects. So if I want to change this one and I want to add a different color, I can change the color. Oops. I know you didn't see me do that. But that's the decorative frame. There is another place that you can do frames, and that's up here in the content area that says frames, right here.
Wait, I'm not seeing it. I don't know where you are.
Okay, I'm still in my content area. So here's
Okay, all right, on the right
papers.
side then. Yes.
Yep, on the right side. So there's embellishments and shapes, and then this is different kinds of strokes,
Right.
and then you have
Oh.
frames. Okay, so I can click on this arrow here, right there, and open up all the kits that have frames in them. So it doesn't give me the kits.
Did you tell it that, or did it just knows that?
It knows that.
Oh, yay.
Yay. Yes. So these kits will not show me papers.
Yes.
They're not going to show me shapes, though they might. I mean, they might, but generally speaking, they're going to show me frames in them. So let's see if I can. So this is what they call a mask frame, a mask effect frame. So I can apply this frame to the selected photo, the blue matted photo. I can apply this to that, and it changes it to this. And then when I put a photo in it, come on. You're getting slow on me, computer. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now I can click and drag this over, and it will make my photo a little funky looking. So, but that's what they call a mask frame. But they do have other frames in here. I just don't know exactly where they are. It's so terrible that I don't have any kits.
Yeah.
I don't have any kits to choose from, you guys. Okay, so this is a frame here, this one. So if I take this and I apply this frame to that picture,
Okay.
ta-da! My grandparents would have liked that. So, okay. So like I said, in Artisan, there are a lot of different ways to do the same thing. So you can either come up here to effects and go to frames, or you can go over here to frames and find all of the kits that you have that have frames in them. Okay. Of course, you could go to a kit and just find a regular frame. And if I add that to the page, it doesn't do anything to the picture. So then I have to take this frame and I have to resize it to fit my picture. So it's kind of more fun to use the frames that are over here than to go into a kit and find a frame. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Lindy, could you have right-clicked that and said apply that to it?
Say that again.
Could you have that frame in the kit selected and you
Yeah.
just added it to the page? Could you have selected the picture and said apply it?
To add this frame, that white
Yeah.
frame? No.
Yeah. So you can't
No.
apply it to a picture that you've already like highlighted or selected? Oh,
No.
okay.
No. The only thing you can do is add it to the page.
Ah, okay.
And that's so yeah,
So
that's
it's more like an embellishment in a way than
yeah.
an actual frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see if we can cancel out of some of these things. Or I'm going to have to reload this all right. Reload this blueprint here. Okay,
Yeah, the computer's just thinking so hard.
What's that?
The computer's just thinking so hard with all these things.
I know.
Well, could you just undo?
I could, but that takes a long time to do that sometimes. So I can
Gotcha.
remove that, but I just removed everything from that. Next, remove. Okay. And then I can remove the photo from here. But then I have to replace. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. If I have this highlighted like this, I can go to sample and I can sample the effect because we know that it's a matte. And if I come up, so I'm going to come up here to this one and I'm going to right click and I'm going to go back. Now I'm going to apply this, the black thing that I just copied here. I'm going to now apply that with an effect to that one up there. So I've replaced kind of what I eliminated.
It's cool.
Okay. What else? So we talked about strokes. I don't want to talk about calendar yet, I guess, but that's a whole nother set of lessons to do calendars. But you can, it's not even allowing me to add it in. All right, so now I can
frame, huh?
So let's skip calendars now for a while, and we'll maybe get back to those eventually. The next thing in here is the fills. So you can click on color, and you can pick So I have the background color, background part highlighted. So I can go ahead and change the color of the background to whatever color I want. Okay. If I had photos in here, if I can find a couple of color things. Okay. You guys have to go to Detroit Lakes to see the trolls in Detroit Lakes. Those of you who don't live up here, does Texas have any Dambo trolls? I
No,
have to look it up and see if you have any Dambo
not that I've
trolls.
seen anyway. I had to go
Yeah.
to Maine to see the ones I was looking at.
Yeah. So
They have
anyway,
them in Washington.
yep, yep. And they have them in Wisconsin and here and Rhode Island and
And maybe North Carolina too.
oh yes, they had them, and they have them in California. They have them all over the West Coast. But these guys were in North Carolina. They are now in California. That's a traveling exhibit. But if I wanted to say this color is not the color I want, okay, so I can go right click on that and go to fill, and this fill up here gives me color, gradient color. I can get a paper and I can remove what I put in there. This fill gives me a lot of other choices. So if I want to change the color, when I go to solid color, I can come here to sample. I can pick all of these normal colors if I want to. But if I want the color to be something that corresponds or coordinates with my pictures, maybe I want to come take my color picker. Oh, you're going to be that way. This doesn't work. You know why? Because I'm on my external screen, my second screen. Color picker does not work when you are on your second screen. So just a little clue for you guys. It'll give you black and it'll give you gray and it'll give you your regular colors, but it won't let you color pick. So that's just a little lesson for you. But you can change, you can go to RGB and you can change the color if you want to whatever, to something else. By changing the how much blue, green, and red is in that color. So you can change the colors that way. So the next thing that you can do with fill where am I? There we go. Fill is I could do a color gradient. So, and I can tell it. So there's the color gradient. This is the 2 color gradient. So if I want to change it to something like that, then I can preview on the page and I can see what it looks like on the page. If I want to change it, I can click a different one and change how the colors go together. So that's gradient. You have, let's go back to fill, gradient. You have a straight gradient. And this is kind of cool because I can add colors to this. So I just click on it Okay, and I can add these little buttons. So I can change that color if I want to, and I can change this color. And I can add another little box and I can change that color. Okay, and then I can adjust how wide I want those colors to be. And then I can preview on the page. And there's what it would look like on the page. So that's kind of fun. I can go to radial and I can do it the same way. I've got those colors there and I can make it a circle and I
Ooh.
can.
I love that. That is just so cool.
Isn't that fun?
Mm-hmm.
So these are really fun ways that you can do it. And then they've got the rectangle one, which you can do too. Then they have more blend colors. Here they've got this plus sign here, and you can do more blend colors. So if I want to reverse the colors, I can reverse and have the pink on the inside and the brown on the outside. I can do straight blending, which doesn't do very much for that set of colors. But I can do all black and white, which kind of gives you the star idea. This is the vibrant rainbow.
Wow.
Wow.
That is bright.
It is. This is the pastel rainbow. That's still kind of bright. And then earth and sky is this one. And then sunset is this one. So you can do all of these in the circle, in the straight, in the two color. Well, not so much in the two color. You'd have to find a color to fit. But yeah, you can. There are lots of little things that you can do with the gradient. So it's just another thing to play with.
Yeah.
I had no idea you could do all that. That is so, I mean, I've done the like the shadows like you did with the first
Yep.
one, but that really expands it out way beyond, which is really cool.
Yep, yep, yep. So there are some fun things that you can do with Artisan. Let's see, is there anything else in fill that we can do? Okay, so, and then make transparent. So let's say I'm putting this is where you would put in a shape and you would make it transparent, but when you're doing the text around it, that way you'll have the text go around it, but then you make the shape itself transparent and you have just the outline of the shape in words kind of.
It's cool.
So that's kind of a cool effect to do. You can go to your pictures in Forever and you can do weirdo things with those with fill if you want to. I have never done that. I have never done it from my computer. I just usually pull my pictures in and do it that way. But if you wanted to fill, so let's say from my computer, let's see what I have in my computer. So let's try this and see what happens.
Thank you, Lindy. I'm gonna have to go eat real quick, so
Okay, doke.
I'll catch the recording.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Judy. So I just had the fill. Well, that's different, isn't it? How did I do that? Changed the whole thing, didn't it? Okay, well, and that's the beauty of the things that you can redo and take it out and try again, try something else. So, browse Facebook from historian. This is one that you would use a lot. So if you insert a shape, we're gonna try a circle. And if okay, and in my fill, I'm going to convert this to a photo drop point. So I'm going to do that. So now my circle is now a picture. Okay. So converting something to a photo drop point is one of those skills that we really need to have. If I put in here a different shape, if I take that and I go to content and I go to shapes, let's see here. Let's say I want to make that shape a Santa Claus. So I'm going to apply this shape to the selected element, to that circle, and I'm going to make a Santa Claus. But if I want to add a stroke around Santa Claus, I can't do that because strokes go around. Oh, all right. Well, that worked. I thought it would go around the bounding box, which is what it does a lot of times, so that you have to use the outliner tool to be able to put in a stroke. So anyway, but that worked out. So so there are different ways of being able to do things. Come on, let's get rid of you. Okay. So that pretty much takes care of the fill things. You can always go from an art kit and pick a paper that you might want. So let's say instead of the color here, I might want this paper, and I select it, and then I get this cutting board, and that shows me exactly what my paper is going to look like on my page. I click OK, and there's the paper on the page. So that's one thing. We talked a little bit about selecting the frame and the mats, but there are so many more effects that you can do with your with the frame, not just with frames and effects, but when you add an effect. So if I have to cancel this for right now and figure out something to look at. Okay, so if I'm here on this picture and I can click on here and I can go to effects, or I can go up here and go to custom effects. So I'm going to edit my effect. say I'm going to change my matte fill to a different color. And let's change it to brown. And I can make it wider or I can make it narrower depending on what I want. And then I can add another effect in here if I want to. I can add a drop shadow, which gives me the shadow down here at the bottom. So I can add it from up here and I can change the depth of it, how far it pushes my photo away from the page. I can expand it. I can make it 100% dark, or I can change the opacity of it or the density of it to a lot less. I can add another effect if I want to. I can add an inside shadow. And that's going to be inside on the inside part of the frame. And I can do the same thing with that. I can change the depth and I can change the softness and the expansion and all of those things with that. I can add another effect if I want to. I can add a 3D edge to it. And I can change the amount of my 3D edge. So there's so many things that you can do to enhance your photo. One of the things that has become very popular recently is, I'm going to move these things out of the way here, I think. Okay, I'm just going to move those guys over here. Come on, Zoom. Move it. Well, that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, but all right. So we're going to move these things over here. And one of the things that has become very popular with this is doing something that they call a blend layer. And this is going to blow your mind, I think. The blend layer, of course, you remember the color of my paper was a darker brown. If I blend that darker brown with this yellow here, it changes it to this. If I change the color to something else, that's not a good choice. If I do the purple, okay, so now it changes it to something else. I can do a gradient with it. I can make it transparent. I can do all of those same things that I did before, that we could do before. All right, I'm going to put it back to kind of a yellow color. So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff, right? This thing here called blend mode, this is normal, what they call normal. And normal is way down here in the middle. But if I click on color dodge, it gives me a different effect with the blend.
Wow.
If I do darken, it darkens the lighter areas of your blend. If I do a darker color, that makes it even darker. It adds more black in there. Difference, that's kind of a interesting thing. Dissolve. Some of them it's hard to tell what it's doing, but it does give it a slightly different look. Hard light, that's what they call hard light. lighten, lighter color, multiply. So a lot of them, there's normal and then overlay. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with, oh goody. I got a big project at Beth's office tonight. This is screen, and I can change the opacity of the screen. So, I mean, so this is fun to play with too, if you want to do something different with your pages. I think I can even add another blend layer to it if I want to. Let's try. So we'll see. Maybe it, no, I guess it took off. Oh, no, it didn't. So, I mean, so many things that you just have to play with. And then the last thing in this area are masks. Add an effect and add a mask layer. And there's a process to be able to do that, but it's easier to just come over here in your content area and go to frames, because these things up here that have varying opacities to them are masks. So I can take my paper and I can apply this mask. Maybe. Yep. Okay. So I can apply the mask this way rather than the old way where we had to do a whole bunch of different steps. So this is much easier, and I can come through here and I can just quickly change it. Oh, I don't really like that one. Oh, that one's kind of cool. Kind of reminds me of space. Oh, let's try this one. Okay. All right. Well, I kind of like those. Oh, that one reminds me of space. So, you just kind of click through them and see which one tickles your fancy, so to speak. So there are, so under effects, there are a lot of things that you can do. And Tamika and the rest of the Pixies will tell you that there's really no way you can break Artisan. So you may not get the effect or the idea or get the way you want it to work, but there probably is a way to make it all work, and you just have to ask for some help. Also on the format ribbon, you have a light. You have just a plain old light shadow. You have a plain old ordinary heavy shadow, but then you can have a custom shadow. So the light shadow and the heavy shadow all come down from the top left down to the bottom right. Okay, that's where the light comes from. But if I want the light to go the opposite direction, okay, so if I want the light to come from the bottom and go up to the top, I come over here and I can click that arrow there and the light changes up to the top. Or I can have it come down to the left. So depending on how much shadow you want, you've got these. Okay, so that's a lot of shadow. You have these sliders that you can move around and get the shadow, the depth, and how you want it to look. Okay. I rarely use the expansion slider. because even at number 1, it expands it out more than what I typically want. And then you have glow. And then this is going to be the last thing really tonight, is you have glow. And let me get out of these. Cancel for a minute. Let me put a picture on here, and I'll show you what glow looks like. Okay. I couldn't get Terry to climb into the net. He said he did one of them, but he said that was the end of his experimenting, getting into the net. All right, so glow. You've got standard glows, and this is a little bit of glow, this bigger box here, and then the little box means you've got a lot of glow to it. So as you look at this, let me put a paper behind it here, or a color. Seriously? All right. I guess I have to put a paper. All right. Put a paper on it. Okay. So now when I go back to glow, you see the white goes all the way around it. That's what glow does. And you can make it a lot more glow. You can add more expansion to it if you want a lot of glow. You can change the color of the glow. So if I want the color to be that, it won't let me do color picker. So let's say I want it to be that color. Glow just goes all the way around. Okay. So that is kind of the last thing for tonight. I think you guys have had your minds blown.
It was awesome. A lot of great ideas, a lot of great tips. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. And when you go through, if you're going to go through the Pixie 500, you'll learn a lot more about how some of these things work. One of our assignments for week 5, for this week, if we want to do any of the challenges, one of the challenges is to do a blend layer. And that kind of thing. So next week, or this next Sunday, you'll get the rest of whatever they're handing out. So you'll find out what the badges are. You'll find out a bunch more information for this last week before the event happens. So you'll have a lot more to think about. So,
nice.
So any questions about what we did tonight? Do you guys want to work on something? Do you want to play for a while and ask questions as you're playing? Do you want to stop and say, I need my brain to filter through things and listen to the recording or something, and then ask questions next week? What do you guys want to do?
For me, I think it's the latter, Lindsay. This has been awesome.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's been great.
Good, good. What do you want, Barb?
Well, I need a break. I need to filter, look at my notes, do the recording. Yeah,
Yep,
Mhm.
yep,
Yeah, listen to it again when you post it. Absolutely.
yeah.
yep,
Yes.
yep. I'll get it posted to you guys here. If not tonight, I'll do it tomorrow
That's
Yeah.
so
okay.
that you have a little bit more time to play with it.
Great.
So,
Phew.
and then Barb, do you want me to call you after this is over?
Yeah, how about, do you have time tomorrow? My mom has this really bad cold and all of a sudden she's motioning she's ready for dinner. So I need to warm up her chicken noodle soup.
Super. All right. Yeah,
Sorry.
That's okay. I'll be at Barb's office. I mean, I'll be at Beth's office most of the day tomorrow
Okay,
as
just whenever you have time.
yep, I will give you a call
Yeah,
tomorrow
yeah,
because I don't want you to miss out on artisan stuff if
yeah.
it's, I have to figure out what you did and didn't do.
Okay, and I'll try to look
So,
at it again too
yeah, yeah.
here in a
So,
few minutes. So, okay, thank you.
okay. Yeah,
This
yeah,
was
you're
great.
welcome.
A lot of
Well,
stuff, a lot of good stuff.
I'm glad you guys were all here. And like I said, I was beginning to think at 5:58, nobody's coming. So I will see you guys next week then.
Okay,
So,
Yes. Thank you.
all
Thank you
right.
again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Take care.
All
Thanks
right.
so much, you
Bye.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yep. Now I have to find the end of the recording. Probably.